installing DragNDropz is very simple. You just have to create a MySQL database and username for that database and password on your web host. And most web hosting companies allow you to do this through the control panel. Once you've created a MySQL database and you have a user and password assigned to that database, you can install DragNDropz. To do that, you just upload the files to the server into any directory you want, and then you just go and visit that directory through your browser. So right now I'm using Chrome, and this is going to show you how to install DragNDropz. So the first step is to configure the database and just basically put in the information that you created on the web host. And so for me, my database is on the same server, and the port is the default, and my login is the user I created. And so you just fill out the fields and you click on configure database. Alright, so it says the database structure and configuration file has been successfully generated, which is good. So now the second step is to create the initial admin account. And this account is special because it's the root admin account that's tied to your installation, so it can't be deleted. It's basically considered a God account. So I'm going to create it for me. And you want to make sure you use a valid email address, because in case you forget your password, you can reset it. DragNDropz has that functionality, so be sure not to forget to use the correct email address. You can use any password, but the password requirements are a bit strict because I want this to be secure. So I click on create admin account, and it does, and it's been created. And now the next part is to put in my license, and so I'm going to do that. I'm using a test one that's not going to be valid later. So once I put in the license key and the license email, I click on Save License Information. It was saved successfully, and now the install has been completed. So now that the installation is complete, we can click here, and it's going to ask us to log in, and we're going to use the account that we just created. And this is the main dashboard that you'll see. From here you can create galleries, you can upload a different watermark, but I'm going to use the default one. And once you upload a custom watermark, it applies to pictures that are uploaded after that change. So if you haven't changed it and you've uploaded pictures, it will use the default, which is this one. But you can feel free to change it. You've also got a user control panel where you can create additional users to help manage your shared galleries. So basically they get to see and perhaps add or delete stuff in your galleries that are shared between people, so you don't have to give out your godadmin account in case you want other people to manage your galleries. And so this is the interface where you can manage it, and there's different permissions that you can set on the users. But the cool stuff is in the galleries, and this is where you'll be creating your image galleries. So no galleries exist yet. I'm going to create a new one. And this will be about my cat. And I'm going to have autoplay be 10 seconds. So that basically means is when you first initialize the picture and it loads in the gallery slideshow view, after 10 seconds it will switch to the next picture without user interaction. And that's what autoplay is. So you can enable that or disable it, and then you can set a time. So I created one, and there's no pictures in it yet, so I'm going to go and upload some. You can click in this area to bring up the normal upload, or you can actually drag and drop. So I'm going to drag and drop some files. So I'm just going to pick these, move them here, and they're going to start uploading. And this is just making a copy to the server. You're not actually physically moving any files. You're just copying, making a copy to the server, essentially. So it'll show you the status of each picture, and all of these have been uploaded. And when I close this window, the management interface will show up, and this is where you can set a description for each picture, or you can change the order by clicking, holding the mouse, and dragging the pictures to the left. The ones at the top left are the first ones, and it just goes from left to right. So I want this to be the first picture, and I also want it to be the cover photo, and that's what shows up in the gallery view once you close this window. So it's been set as the cover photo, and so I'm going to add some descriptions to my pictures. And with these pictures, you can activate a watermark or deactivate it in case you want to protect any pictures. This is optional, but say I wanted to protect both of these. I click on apply watermark and the watermark's there, and you'll see it in the bigger view. So this is how you manage your pictures. You can delete certain ones by selecting them and then clicking on delete from gallery. I don't want to delete any though. You can also select all and deselect all. And so this is the management window. I'm done with my settings now, and this is initially my gallery. The cover photo just updated in this view. Now to view these galleries on web pages, you have to embed them or load them through JavaScript, and there's different ways to do that. But there's this whole embed wizard generator here that you can click on for each gallery. And you can specify the options and overwrite it. I'm going to use the dark theme. Theme is basically just the font color and the background color. So if it's light, it's black font and white background. And then these are some options that only apply to the thumbnails view. There's different views. There's three different views. There's the thumbnail gallery, and there's the slideshow gallery, which is automatically loaded in slideshow mode. And there's also the way to load it, the thumbnail view, through JavaScript. And so you have some options that you can play around with. So for thumbnails mode, you can change the background color and the border color. So I'm going to change the background color to black, and I'm going to change the border color to blue, and you'll see these colors. And then you can also enable a quick search, which is basically a way to search through the thumbnails. It's just a quick search so that in case you have like 200 pictures in your gallery with different descriptions, you can filter them based off of keywords. So as I'm changing these options, the code is automatically updated that you need to put in. So if I want to do a thumbnail gallery, I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to use this iframe code. So I've got this HTML document, and actually I need to clear it so I can show you how easy it is to insert this stuff. So this is your basic HTML document. It's empty. So with the thumbnails mode and the embed modes, you want to put most of the stuff between the body, but there's instructions on the generation wizard. So I'm going to go ahead and put this iframe in my body, and then I'm going to go ahead and load this to show you what it looks like. So it loaded, and it has a black background and a light blue border color as was specified. And so this is an iframe, and you can mess with the widths and the height all you want. So you can make this be 100% height, 100% width. The units are up to you to change, which can be done here within the iframe, or you can style it using CSS. So this view, when you click on a thumbnail, it loads up full screen and shows you your description you gave it, and it's a slideshow view because we have that enabled, so every 10 seconds it's going to change automatically. This button shows the full size image and opens it in a new tab, and if you want to close this gallery full screen, you can click here, or you can slide between the two if you want, or you can actually stop the autoplay just by hovering over it. So these are changing every 10 seconds. And so this is how it would look like if you were to embed it in a page with existing content. It could just show up in an iframe, or it could show up below it. This is just one of the ways to embed. I'm going to show you the other way. So if you want a slideshow, which can be a mini view, but it already loads within the slideshow view, you can use this code, and this also goes in the body. I'm going to do an example with all of them on there. So basically this should now update. And so this is what the other view looks like. It loads in slideshow view, and if you click this button, it brings up full screen. And if you click on the button again, it goes away, and it just continues to autoplay, and you can't close it. There's no thumbnail view. It just continues to slide between the pictures, and you can manage it yourself too. So that's the other view. And then there's one more. You can load the thumbnail gallery view directly onto your page without having to have it in an iframe or within an embedded mode that you can't really mess with. So if you load this through JavaScript, you can do more things, and you can manage it and manipulate things more easily. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Basically, you have to put some script in between the head section, which is just basically initializing the jQuery library, and you only need to do this once. And then for the body section, you're going to need to put in this code. So I'm going to put it underneath the iframes that I've already created, and I'll show you what that looks like. So So now we've got 3 different views on here, and this is directly on your page, and it also has the border color. The background color by default is transparent for your existing pages, so it'll just inherit whatever was there. And you've got a quick search, and it just basically works the same way, although it's directly on your page, and it opens in that view. And so that's another way to get it onto the page using JavaScript. And those are your share options, and there's also a direct link to it in case you just wanted to send somebody the link without having to make a page. Here's the direct link, and it's basically the same thing. And so you have multiple options to embed the galleries onto existing pages. And this is the share generation wizard. So that's how you share your galleries. If you wanted to add more pictures, you just click on the upload button again and drag more files over. And then if you want to manage existing ones or change the order, you click on the management icon. This is the code generation icon. This is how you can edit your galleries if you wanted to disable autoplay or disable the gallery completely. And then you can also delete the entire gallery if you want, and it'll prompt you before it does that. And you can create as many galleries as you want. So it's basically an interface for you to create as many galleries as you want that you can share essentially anywhere. And DragNDropz is self-hosted, so that means you manage the pictures, nobody else owns them, you control it, and you just call it from any page essentially. And DragNDropz is only $50 per license, and that includes free minor version updates, so it's a great deal and it works really well, and I think it's really cool.